So football is back, boys and girls. Football is back. But what is better than having football back at our disposal? Well, of course, nothing's better than a Blackburn Rovers victory. And we're going to tell you about the latest one next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match review. This time looking back at the return of Blackburn Rovers. That's right, they took on Bristol City earlier today. And we'll tell you all about it in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash the old subscribe button. Keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related, Championship related. We're going to know here. Under one, Rovski, that's right. Yeah, we'll be talking about it in a second. I'm still plodding away through my new setup here. It'll look good at the end of it, but right now, it looks a little bit ferocious, but we'll try and get it all figured out a little bit. Soon we're gonna have a new backdrop as well. Not this graphical stuff. Something cool I'm working on. But anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's take a little look, of course, of all the bits and pieces that took place with Rovers earlier today. So Blackburn Rovers taking on fellow playoff chasers Bristol City, and it was Mowbray's boys coming out on top in the end with a 3-1 win at a desolate, quiet Ewood Park. No fans in attendance, of course. Only some lucky few media and all that kind of stuff. We're in attendance, but that's pretty much it. So, yeah, goals coming in. They were pretty, first 30 minutes was a bit of a feeler, just trying to see how everyone's coping on. But Rovers had to actually do second bits on this one with Jamie Paterson opening up scoring on the day for Bristol City on the 34th minute. But we did bounce back pretty much straight away with a long range effort. I think it was a long range. It was more of like a looping effort. I don't know if it was. It didn't look like it was an actual shot, but there was a bit of confusion as to who put the ball over the line. But the ball has been credited to, of course, the returning and the very, very much inspiring Corry Evans to level up on the 37th minute. So he made it 1-1, and we went into the second half with it all on the table, folks. Bristol City made 2 or 3 changes at half time, bringing on some De Silva, bringing on Palmer as well to try and change it up a little bit. But it was actually Rovers who took the lead in the game on the 61st minute. It was a belting banger of a strike. Tosin Aderabayo rifling home on 61st minute to give us the edge, and then we made sure of it on the 71st minute. Of course, super sub. It's Stretch Armstrong, boys and girls. Adam Armstrong getting his 30th for the season to wrap up the 3 points. Quick look at the stats down the bottom there. We actually had 9 shots on the day, 8 for Bristol City. They did actually boss possession. 51% of all possession was with Bristol City. We had 48 and a bit percent. Pass success rate again went with Bristol City. 66% of their passes reached their intended target, and 62% for Rovers. We did win the aerial duels. Of course, it's something we are good at these days. 28 of all aerial duels won by Rovers, 16 for Bristol City, 11 tackles by the visitors, 9 for us, and 2 corners to their 1. So let's take a look at the starting lineups now. Of course, one between sticks. There was no questions asked there. With a flat back 4 of Ranky Costello, Darren Lenihan, Tosin Aderabayo, and of course Elliot Bennett make up a makeshift back 4. We had Lewis Travis and Evans pulling the strings in midfield, all kind of cleaning up the dirty. And then of course Stuart Downing, the linchpin for me. Holtby on the left, Gallagher on the right, and of course big bad boy Brereton up top. As for our visitors, Bentley was between sticks, Rowe, Callas, Baker, and Pereira. We also had Masongo and Eliasson alongside Patson, the goal scorer, O'Dowda, Smith, and Diadu up top. Now about my match ratings coming at you for the Rovers players. Of course, one with a 5, not too shy. He had pretty much not much to do, just pick the ball out of the net for that one time. Besides that, it was just business as usual. Ranky Costello did okay at left back. It's not his preferred position, but hey, well done for him to stepping into the void. Darren Lennon was solid as well as a 6, maybe a bit harsh on him, but gonna go with it. Of course, Big Thompson gets an 8 for his goal and his some goal, but just playing it cool. He was very cool today. Elliot Bennett with a captain's armband looked very, very good as well. On right back did top bananas for him. Into the midfield, Travis was savvy again, and of course the man of the match, Evans, with an assist, a goal, some goal line clearances as well to deny Bristol City getting back into it. Downing was phenomenal as well, pulling the strings. I love to see it, and it was just good to have Holtby, Gallagher, and Brereton on the field. They get 6s for that. That's just my critique for the match day against Bristol City. Let's take more look at the stats then, shall we? Passes, Bristol City had more passes to us, 340 compared to our 325. They had more touches as well, 461 to our 460, ain't too shabby as well. Some tackles flown in as well from all angles. And as you can see from that graphic, you can see where all the shots took place. And we were unfortunate enough to see Charlie Mulgrew, who was on the bench, of course. What was the bench? Seven subs on the bench, 5 used, something like that. And 5 were used as well. So it was plenty In fact, it was 9 subs, and of course Armstrong coming on to score the winner for us anyway. Down the bottom there, you can see where the shots took place. So yeah, overall, not a bad performance from Rovers. Very, very happy. If you're a heat map man just like me, here is some of the overview of where the sort of attacking avenues took place. As you can see, the right hand side very, very fruitful for Rovers. That was where Gallagher was down there. Brereton was very, very solid as well. He did have a golden opportunity to break the hoodoo, slipping at the last, but it was just one of many that had a sloppy footwear, just couldn't get a grip on the day at Ewood Park. A couple of little other bits of on the pitch for Bristol City, they slipped at the wrong opportunities. But ultimately, I'll take this to the bank, boys. This is a big one in the grand scheme of things. Bristol City compete for playoffs as well. They're going to fall back a little bit. We're going to stride forward. And I think when we look at the table, we ain't too far off. But anyway, that's just a little bit what I had to say about the match. What about the gaffer? What did Tony Mowbray have to say shortly after the final whistle in his special Zoom chat?
It was a bit of a shock. I thought we dominated for the first, for most of the first half. Their goal came out of the blue against the run of play. We all know the stats. They've scored. They've got more points away from home. They're good on the transition, on the counter attack, and it was really frustrating for us. Really, their first effort at goal just about to go 1-0 down, but to score early again is important when you play Bristol City, because they're good behind the ball. They do break with clever, technical, fast players, and to make it level at half-time was important, really, to give us a platform to go on and win. It was a cross into the box, let's be fair. I mean, Corry might tell you he bent it in from 40 yards, but to be fair, it was a cross into the box, and one of them I talk a lot to them about in swingers, make sure they're on target. People run across the face of the goalie. The goalie has to adjust his position because of the runs, and the ball bounces and goes in off the far stick. So a great ball in the box, and I think just rewards for the way we played first half. I think
you could have gone in front with Ben Brereton, but
yeah.
Did you feel that once you got your noses in front, you were in control of that game?
It felt reasonably comfortable. It felt as if anybody was going to score, we were going to score another one. I mean, we broke away a few times, really, just picked the better pass, and we scored again. I'm sure Adam Armstrong had a great chance. He hit the goalkeeper when Danny Graham put him in. I think, I said, with total respect to them, it ultimately turned out it was a reasonably comfortable day for us. It was great to have the bench that we had today, to be able to take the front three off and put them front three on is fantastic for this football club to be able to do that. Bradley Johnson to come in, Stewie Downing to slide the left back. We did pick up a few niggles, as I think every team will, because of the intensity that you're trying to drive at, having not really had a pre-season, if we're calling it a pre-season, for these 9 games. So Adam Armstrong has literally trained for 10 days because he had to self-isolate.
No Nyambi today, Tony. Has he picked a knock-up?
Touch and go. Ultimately, I decided. I think Ryan probably could have played today, but what I didn't want is Ryan to come off after 20 minutes and miss 8 games on the bounce. So we made a call on Ryan. Let's give him a week's rest. He's a bit tight. He's a bit uncomfortable. A week's rest. Some good food, some good sleeping, some few training sessions, and I'm sure he'll be ready for the next 8 games. 2
teams above you have drawn today, late on conceding goals, Preston North End and Nottingham Forest. It's all setting up nicely for the last 8, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, we just have to take each one as it comes. We've talked about that. We've talked about starting well, which we have. 2, and there's no easy games there. 2 tough games. I think Wigan won today, did they? So, we've been on a journey with Wigan for the last 2 or 3 years, down to League One and back promoted again, and then the journey continues. We know how good they are. We know that Cookie has good teams, and that's going to be a tough ask for us. And then Barnsley after that away. Barnsley, I was watching Norwich last night. Norwich is such a lovely football team, and yet don't seem to win. And what you'd have to say, Barnsley, they must shaking their head, think how they find themselves at the bottom with such talented build-up play. They're games we can win, but they're games we can lose. We have to get it right in them 2 matches, and then of course we face Leeds at home in the next challenge at Ewood, and so it would be great for us to find ourselves in the top 6 going into that game with everything to play for.
Well, you heard a little bit what the gaffers had to say. What about the fans? Well, let's take a look at some of them here. We've got James Barron, a.k.a. Rover Zealous 23. People forgetting we came from behind too. Not something I recall us doing very often. An absolute brilliant match. Meanwhile, celebrity Rover Liam Livingston said, one bonus of all this, this man is back fit. Playoff push is well and truly back on, he says. Another celebrity or blue tick speciado. It's Adam Catterall. He said, great result. Should have been 4. Disallowed goal at 1-1 was a joke. Well in, lads. Yes, that's I forgot to mention that. Rankin Costello did put the ball in the back of the net shortly after that slip by Brereton to have the goal strucken off for whatever reason. Matt Stilton said, a great day back at Ewood Park at the office. Fans were class. Absolute scenes at full time. Yeah, it was just crowd trouble the whole way through. Meanwhile, Jacob Crook said, full-time Rovers 3-1 winners over Bristol City. Football is back, baby. A sensational win and one that Rovers thoroughly deserved. Exactly the start Mowbray was after. Meanwhile, the Swedish Rover said, deserved win. Great work, boys, in response to the old final whistle there. Talk of you and also very, very vocal. Huge shout out to Big Bad Boy Brereton and Joe Costello for the performances today. Everybody performed well, but Brero looked quality and JRC performing against a good Eliasson in an unusual position. Meanwhile, Russell Prescott said, Corry Evans, man of the match by a country mile. Absolutely superb performance on his return from what could have been a career-ending injury. Delighted for him. Well done, Corry Evans. Meanwhile, David Strachan said the same thing. Corry Evans, masterclass there. Boys played well as a team. Gutted that Big Ben lost his footing there because he had a great game as well. Well done, lads. Bavarian Rover, the German Rover, massive 3 points. Thanks to Luton as well for picking up a monstrous, putting a bit of a stonker on Preston North End's push. We are the Rovers, aka Mr. Mac 84. Fantastic performance. Well done, boys. Thoroughly deserved the win. Gaz, aka at S27GDM. Every single player, great today. Well done, boys. Big 3 points. That Evans and Trav bossed the midfield. Meanwhile, Dave Aspin, aka Whitehall Rover, top game management, top result. Quietly, we are on our way. Don't tell nobody. Leslie Addis said, great to see players come back from a horrible injury. Well done, Corey Evans. Declan 88819 said, get in, great result. Evans and Travis outstanding in the middle of the park. Let's get that playoff spot. Easy does it. And Robert Howarth, number 2, said, easy, get in there, you Blues. Onwards and upwards. Let's get in the playoffs. That seems to be the vibe across the board. Let's take a look at how everyone else got on this weekend. Okay, Fulham and Brentford kicked it all off in the early kickoff. It's a 2-0 win for Brentford. Lastminute.com, couple of goals there. Swansea put a bit of a kink into Middlesbrough's survival hopes, but giving themselves a big old boost with a 3-0 win over Middlesbrough at the Riverside. Millwall lost in a 5-goal barnstorm with Derby, picking out the 3 points and again give themselves a big old late push towards them playoff spots. In the old Midlands affair, it was a 0-0 draw between West Brom and Birmingham. Huddersfield, they lost at home to Wigan, 2-0. Hull City also lost in a relegation 6-pointer between Charlton. 1-0 win in the end. A late goal for Sheffield Wednesday dented Nottingham Forest's top 6 ambitions as well. And Luton did the same to Preston with a 1-1 draw. QPR also lost at home to Barnsley in a big old win for them. And Reading and Stoke also duked it out to a 1-1 draw. Obviously, you could see from what I'm trying to get here, there was only one home win in the whole of the match day in the old championship, and it was at Ewood Park, and Rovers coming out on top with the 3 points. And this is what has done to the table, folks. That's right. Rovers up to 7th. Dare we dream. Dare we dream. Just 1 point off the playoffs, and that is at Preston at the moment in 6th spot. But at the top of the table is West Brom. They go top for the time being. Leeds are in 2nd, of course. Game in hand. They'll play on Sunday. Fulham, they're also in 3rd. Brentford 4th. Forest 5th and Preston into 6th spot. So the biggest winners today are Brentford closing in on Fulham, Forest and Preston holding firm with just the 1 point. Rovers also making a good jump, as do Swansea, Millwall, Bristol City. They track back a bit. Derby also on a push as well. Down the bottom is Luton, Barnsley and Hull City going down if the season was to end today. But it doesn't, folks. We continue on next week. And what do we have next week? Brentford will be taking on West Brom in a monster game on Friday night. That'll be a good one to look forward to. Swansea and Luton, that's the early kickoff, or one of the 2 early kickoffs. One of the 3 early kickoffs. There's 4 early kickoffs. Goodness gracious me. Swansea taking on Luton at the Liberty. That takes place on about 12-ish. Preston take on Cardiff. That's going to be a banger as well. Derby against Reading. They'll look to put another 3 points in the bag. And then Barnsley against Millwall. Both different agendas on the cards there. In the late kickoffs, or the normal kickoffs on Saturday, Birmingham take on Hull. Stoke take on Borough. Leeds United take on Fulham in a bit of a Bobby Dazzler. But all eyes will be at the DW as Wigan. That's right. Then Ticks take on Blackburn Rovers. Charlton against QPR as well. Into the Sunday games, we have Bristol City, today's opponents, up against Sheffield Wednesday. And Nottingham Forest against Huddersfield Town. Aye, folks. Now that, my friends, is it. Blackburn Rovers are back into the football universe with a Bobby Dazzler win up against fellow playoff chasers Bristol City. And we come out on top, folks, so I'm absolutely elated. Hopefully you guys are too. In the build-up for next week, we got championship predictions on the channel. We're going to have, of course, the preview to the channel. Of course, maybe some other bits and pieces in relation to the game. So make sure you stick around for that. And the best way to do that is smash the thumbs up and smash the subscribe and also tickle that little bell so you know just whenever we go. We're on live because we occasionally do the old live stuff. And we'll be looking to do some watch-alongs as well next week. So plenty of stuff to look forward to. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. If we can make it back-to-back wins against Bristol City and Wigan, you just don't know. This time next week, we could be sitting in 6th spot. You just don't know. Yeah, give me your thoughts and opinions about the match in the old comment section down below. Who was your man of the match? Who was your turkey of the match? Who would you like to see playing next weekend? And of course, who would you like to see banging in the goals? I've got Adam Armstrong tipped for goal number 14. We'll have a look where he is in the goal scoring charts as well in the build up to next week. But until then, boys, I'm out. I'm sweating. Hopefully, this is my first preview in a long time. I'm a bit rusty, but we'll get back into the swing of things very, very soon. Until then, though, I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.